looky here. It's the Pat and JT podcast.
Pat and JT podcast.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. It's Pat and JT, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. 402-403-9478. Thanks for all your text messages, your voicemail. Love hearing from you guys.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Like all that stuff. As a matter of fact, too, previous episode talking about a safe deposit box that I have floating around somewhere.
Did you get some answers on that?
They said the safe deposit box, the bank would have to drill it open.
What? That
was the
seems
answer
like not very efficient.
They don't have any other access to it because that's the whole purpose of a safe deposit box. Is nobody else can get into it, but after you abandon it for a certain amount of time,
that seems crazy.
Then they'd have to drill it open.
That seems absolutely crazy.
So I don't know if they have like a ceremony where they have the drilling of the boxes.
Ceremony.
They grab all the safe deposit boxes that have been abandoned. I don't know how they do that.
And if there's nothing in it,
to do it,
what a waste of money. If there's nothing in it, what a waste of time and having to replace the door or whatever they got to do. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. Maybe they just drill out the lock.
Oh, maybe that's it. I imagine this big like dust. Okay, so maybe that's it.
Destroying the box, tearing it apart.
Like, that seems awful aggressive, but yeah, okay,
No.
You're probably right.
Just drill out the lock,
Whatever.
pop it open, and see what's inside. I wonder if when they do that, if they have to have like the authorities with them. If they have to have a cop present or something.
Or a notary.
Yeah. That's right. Cop or a notary.
Or whatever.
Okay. I kind of wonder because you never know what's going to be in a safe deposit box.
Right.
Somebody abandons it or somebody passes away and nobody else knows they had it.
That's the big thing.
That'd be another one too.
And so if you don't, and this, we were talking about that briefly after we got done yesterday about how safety deposit boxes and like storage places.
Oh yeah.
To me, storage places are, it's turning into, anyway, at least the specific one that we were at.
Somebody got burned. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, some friends of mine did, and some friends of mine, and they had a storage locker, and it was like run by a local company here in town, and it got bought by a bigger company. And usually after like 4 or 5 days or whatever, if you don't pay, they put like another lock on it, so they don't take your stuff. Yeah, basically.
So you can't get your
It's
stuff.
like a boot for your crap.
Yep.
So you can't get in. And then until you pay the bill, which is fine, and that's fine. But now this other company now took over national, and you get a 3-day grace period to pay. And if you didn't, they put a lock on and $50 fee, $50 late fee,
a late fee.
Every 10 days after that was another $20 fee, and then at the end, if you didn't
goes
pay,
to the end of a billing period,
you have to pay for that month and the next month plus an unbooting fee or whatever.
Right.
So it was almost triple the amount. So it's almost like robbery where they're keeping you from your stuff, but if you can't afford to get in, you have no option.
You're never going to afford to get in once it gets to that point. It's kind of like what bank fees. I don't know. They've kind of, I think, got that a little more under control. Maybe there's new legislation about that. But I remember when you'd get, especially when you first get your checking account or you first get an account, and if you overdraw or if you bounce a check, and it's like then they put a $35 fee on it. It's like, dude, I don't have any money.
Right. Obviously.
And now you're going to start adding, and then it would just keep adding because you were underwater, and it was incredibly difficult to get back on top of it.
So make a deposit just to get to zero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But that's true. I think the storage thing, though, you think about it, most people, the stuff they have in storage isn't real important to them.
Usually.
A lot of it. It's stuff they don't want to get rid of, which is just incredible to me. What a society we are. It's incredible to me the number of storage units that we've seen built in Omaha just over the last few years.
Right.
It's incredible. Around every corner, you've got just rows of storage. Dino's doing great.
Right. Right.
But the number of storage units, and we know a couple of friends, as a matter of fact, too, that have storage units out west of town. Mm-hmm. And they built, and their storage units, there's one that's storage units just for your toys. And I'm talking your RV or campers or whatever, things like that, boats. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge business as well, having the indoor storage facility and then having just storage for your stuff.
Yeah, we have just too much crap as society.
And we don't get rid of it, so we put it in storage and instead pay $60 a month or $30 a month or $100 a month or whatever it is.
Yeah, because I was blown away and this is the last month for our storage unit that we have. And we got at the public one. It's called Public Storage out in Elkhorn. It's
Okay.
brand new inside. And they had a special. It was $40 a month for a huge.
Right.
Unbelievable, because every other place we called in town was triple that. 120 was for climate controlled, because you
Yeah.
got some stuff you don't want all your crap out in
There's
the
a real cool
elements.
place like that up north of town that's climate controlled. You go inside and it's much more secure. When you go inside, there's got cameras everywhere. You can't get in the door unless you have a locker in there to begin
yeah.
with. And there's cameras everywhere. And you're inside when you go to open, as opposed to the ones that you're out in the elements and trying to get your stuff out.
Yeah, it's a
But-
racket.
Had you only had the foresight, back 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
It's crazy because you saw the houses kept getting bigger 20, 25 years ago, moving forward. The McMansions, as they were called, because they weren't really huge, but they were way big. And there's still houses that I drive by and I'm like, my God, that place is huge. It's just a regular house.
Do you ever drive around and you look at houses, you're like, what in the H? What do they do?
How do you furnish that? It's so much space.
There's so much.
Yeah. But then now it's kind of gone back in the other direction.
Which is awesome.
So people are kind of downsizing a little bit in some areas. Not all, not across the board, but it just kind of depends. But yeah, the storage thing.
It almost seems criminal.
Thing,
It almost seems criminal that after 30 days, that I get it. You sign the sheets of paper and you sign away, but it's like where they make it impossible for you to get your stuff unless you want. Like if you have something in there that's special to you, but it's not worth a lot. Are you going to pay $600? That's what they're banking on. Is you're going to pay $500 or $600 to get that lock taken off to get your whatever.
And that's why there are TV shows where they auction off. The locked units.
It just doesn't seem right that after
Can you
30
imagine though,
days.
that there's that many abandoned or where people have just given them and said, I give. That's it. I'll sacrifice it. Go ahead. And then they had the auctions, and that there was enough of them to make a TV show.
Yeah. Okay.
With regulars.
Right. I love Storage Wars was awesome.
Storage Wars is awesome. It is. It's because it's like, oh my God, I can't wait till they open the door and we see what's inside. Or you get a little bit of a
little giddy.
Yeah, right. It's just kind of fun.
Okay, so but how does this doesn't seem fair, because the friends of mine, they're on the hook for the past due balance. Like it could go to a collection agency. So if they owe it, but they don't pay it, then they lose all their stuff. Plus they're on the hook for the balance. So they pay that balance and they should get their stuff back. I mean, it doesn't seem right that the storage company gets to double dip like that.
But they tell them up front.
In the little fine print. But I don't think they told them that if there was a balance, that they're going to still be on the hook for it months down the road, even if they lose their stuff. I thought they assumed, and they shouldn't have assumed, but that if they surrender their stuff, it's zero balance then, because you could potentially make a lot of money on what's in there. You shouldn't have to pay both. That seems like a bunch of crap.
I can see both. I see your argument, but on the flip side, and if they didn't spell it out to him, well, then I get it. But otherwise,
and they probably did. It's probably in this stupid small print.
But it also, when you're signing up for anything, and they tell you okay, here's the deal. Just remember, now if you don't pay this on this date, then this and this and this, you're like, okay, fine, let me sign.
Right.
Here's my money. Go, and then you forget about it. And then then here you go. Then something happens, and you're like, I don't remember you saying that to me.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh. So this week, we're heading into the weekend as we speak in real life. Did you see Dale Jr.'s plane crash?
Yeah. He sounds like he's pretty lucky.
It wasn't a plane crash as such. It was they had landed, and then it had something went wrong, though. I haven't heard what it was, but it rolled off the runway, and then it burst into flames. Said that they had about 1,000 gallons of fuel on board, and they were flying up, heading to Bristol for the race for this weekend. He does the TV thing now. And so he is taking the weekend off.
I would think.
The video that I posted on Twitter, the audio right at the very beginning, a couple of guys in a vehicle it was, I don't know, it must have had some kind of a camera that they had on the dash. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was authority. I don't think it was, because they didn't get out of the car to help. And I don't blame them either, because the smoke coming off that thing was amazing. Right off the bat. Is that a baby? Did they just pull a baby out of that thing?
Really?
Because it was his family, his wife and his daughter. She's one. And then the pilots and I think there might have been some other people on board too, but everybody got out. But you can see the people getting out of the plane and then taking off. And then a dog jumped out, and you see the dog take off, and the people trying to get away from the plane, not scrambling. They were walking, but with intent. Trying to get farther away.
Can you imagine if something, God forbid, happened to his family after everything that family's been through with his dad?
His dad died in 2001.
Unbelievable. That would just, I mean, it's terrible anyway, but just.
In a car crash, but that was at a race, at a car crash. But this here, this would have been terrible, but I just, wow. And then the smoke just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and you could see it just building because of fuel. It was just incredible. And it took the authorities about 2 minutes. So that video is about 3.5 minutes long. And the first fire truck rolls up about 2 minutes in.
Scary. I don't know if I could get back on a plane again. A little one anyway.
Yeah, that was their private jet. That's why the one person kept saying, "Well, it's a private jet. It's it's a private plane. It's a private plane," because you see one person get off and then you see a dog take off running. It's just a family on a plane. They didn't realize it was Dale Jr. when they were watching. They had no idea who it was. But they're all okay. They did take him on a stretcher. They put a neck brace on him, but they said that he appeared to be moving his head fine by himself. But everybody had to go in the hospital, and then everybody was fine, though.
Well, I remember when Travis Barker from Blink-182 got in that plane crash.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, I mean, he should have died. I have no idea
That was
how.
a crash.
That was a legit crash. And he said he'll never get on a plane again. It doesn't matter. He'll take a bus. He'll drive wherever. He will never, ever get on, not even a private, public, anything. Will not get on another plane again. I don't blame him.
I can see it on one side, but common sense says to you it's way safer than any other form of travel. People get back in cars every day, and Lord knows you are really taking your life in your hands every time. I think about it sometimes when I'm driving down a road. Just the sheer number of vehicles, especially in the mornings or in any kind of rush hour. Anywhere
you're
where
only
it's
going
busy.
2 miles an hour in rush hour. So stupid traffic.
I've been going west to get east for the last couple of days.
So dumb.
And it's been really good for me.
You're right. It
gave me a break. Yeah, just kind of took a different way. I decided, you know what? I'm not going to try and fight this streak because I know there's construction there. There's a high school there. There's some other problem over here. So I'm going to go way around and come back from the other side. And it was really nice. I even got gas in Elkhorn this morning.
I think you'd rather drive for 20 minutes than sit in traffic for 20 minutes.
It's true. But then you're watching the number of cars that are backed up at the intersections. And the intersections are just so overwhelmed, especially like 168th, 180th, and Pacific, 192nd. Yeah. It's incredible how quickly that it's grown. And then you see the number of cars and then realize, really, it's very rare that I see an accident. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's just people being slow.
Because there's so many people that are on the road at the same time, and there's a lot of rage. Right. You know that.
Or when you're getting on like 680 onto 80 and you think, oh God, there's an accident or something because it's deadlocked, and you get just around the curb and there's nothing. It's like, what were you guys, what what were you going slow for?
That's the residual of the looky-loos when there was an accident there. And so it just can...
It's on the other side of the freaking interstate. Like, you guys on this side, mind your own business and let's go. If their car stalled or whatever at an intersection and it's 144th going south yesterday, there was somebody right on the intersection, like the first one, car hood up, and there was a police officer behind her, and everybody from here all the way up to almost South Dakota, it was just backed up. And I drove by and I just gave her a dirty look. I judged everything.
Terrible.
I judged her. Her kids were ugly.
Oh my God.
I was so mad. Like, you idiot.
The other day, there was somebody that was pulled over, and where was it at? It was a real mess trying to get by, and then I realized what it was. It was a weird time of day, and it was backed up horribly on Dodge Street. And what it was somebody had pulled over, and they had a flat tire, rear left.
Ugh.
And so somebody else had stopped to help them, but because of the way people are, nobody wants to get out of that right-hand lane because they're either getting on or getting off in the next exit or 2 miles later or whatever it is. So nobody was getting over so that they were a little safer.
Yeah.
But nobody saw it coming. If you're in the left-hand lanes, you didn't even realize that was going on over there on the far side. But that's scary.
That is scary. You still get mad, but it's scary. It is scary. You just get mad. I've been
driving. I think I mentioned this before when I go in the mornings even. I take like neighborhood roads and just kind of wind through, because I'm over in that 156th and Blondo area where all that construction's going on. Blondo's closed, and 156th a cattle trail north and south, and it's just a mess. So I'll just kind of wind through the neighborhoods and then cut through the next neighborhood. Jack loves it. He's hanging his head out the window. He's like, "This is great." Because you get up to speed on Dodge is no fun. No. So he's much happier when we just go winding through the neighborhoods. Breathing easy, taking our time, listening to the latest murder book podcast.
He has no worries in the world.
It's awesome. That's the best way to get my head straight. Right there.
Yeah, traffic really mess you up.
That podcast, by the way, too, that murder book. I think it's called Murder Book. It's one that I just heard about the other day, or somebody wrote something about it somewhere and said, if you get a chance, let me pull it up here real quick. I think it is Murder Book. Yeah. I just started listening to it. And it's a guy who wrote for the New York, Los Angeles Times. And these are the actual cases, wiretaps, witness interviews, court recordings, detective recollections. Because this first one has a detective that was with the Los Angeles Police Department for 34 years. And the guy who's doing this, he's an author. His name's Michael Connolly. And he used to write for the Times, but he says in here that in particular, this first detective he's talking with on the first, I'm only on the first episode, to be honest. But on this episode, he said, usually the only time I would mention this guy's name in anything that I wrote, right after it said no comment. The guy had very little use for the press. And so,
that's
but
funny.
He got him to sit down now that he's retired to sit down and talk about some of these cases and go through what happened.
That sounds like, what's it called? Murder Book?
Murder Book.
And that sounds awesome.
Go through the collection of evidence and yeah, it is. It's really good. I just got done with Insomniac.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Awesome.
Talk about awful people. I mean,
but I love
that kind of stuff.
It's fascinating. It's like a train wreck. But it's fascinating.
And there's new episodes also of Confronting. O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. I haven't.
I'm still on the O.J. Simpson one, but she's going to have more. Confronting is going to, I think that she's planning to have other people and other cases.
Confronting that's
Confronting
brilliant.
is the name of it.
So the last episode, I just actually finished the last episode for me anyway, was the one where she played the voicemails that were left on Ron's.
Oh yeah.
Have you gotten to that one yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so are there more coming on that, or is that was it, right? For Confronting O.J. Simpson. Now,
it's been right now. Let me look here real quick where I'm at. There's Confronting. The episodes that are on here right now, and glad you mentioned it because I need to download some now. I'm sitting here on my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I am like there's about 4 episodes that I haven't listened to.
Oh yeah, you need to.
I was up to number 9. So in the 10th episode, 10, and then there's a bonus episode, and then there's a new one that's called from the same people that brought you Dirty John, called Introducing Man in the Window, which will be another good one. So I might just have one more of this one.
It's very well done.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Yeah, so super good. So I love anytime you have a new episode or a new podcast. Feel free to share.
There was Michael Rosenbaum has a great podcast. It's called Inside of You, it's great. And he interviewed, his recent episode was Richard Marx. Richard Marx is an absolute potty mouth, and it's awesome. Like you just don't expect that. You don't expect that at all.
You don't. You really don't. Yeah, that's great. So is he talking? Who does he talk to?
I mean,
he's like anybody. It's from all walks of life.
Yeah, he's had
famous people though.
Yeah, Sean Astin was on there. And there's been I can't even think of all the people. I mean, he's like 40 or 50 episodes in, and he's just it's great. It's just like a long conversation. He had Dr. Drew on there. Actually, that might have been Dax Shepard. Anyway, Dr. Drew was on there for a couple of hours, and it's just a great podcast.
A great listen. You know what I mean, Dr. Drew Pinsky. I like him on anything that he's on, and he just recently he's been popping up on several newscasts, in particular talking about the trash problem that they have in Southern California on some of the streets, and the rat problem that they have, and he just can't seem to rattle anybody's cage enough to get the cities to do something. They were going to. I think they were trying to get rid of the rats because he's like the plague is here. It's just a matter of time that it's going to explode.
Gross.
It is. It's
disgusting.
Disgusting. They have millions more rats than people, easily, in the streets. And they're talking about ways to get rid of it. And unfortunately, they're running into roadblocks because one way is to poison them. But unfortunately, when you poison them, you may contaminate other things that might harm people or other pets or kill other animals. And so there's some pushback on this because in order to kill the rat, what's funny, where my head went is talking about cancer. In order to kill cancer, same thing. You have to, it's a lethal dose.
Yeah.
And you're poisoning the system of the host as well to get rid of the cancer. And that's basically what they're looking at right now with this rat problem. And listening to him talk about it though, it's just like, this is a no-brainer.
It's a common sense. It says he makes it seem like it's common sense. It is common sense.
Common sense. I mean, it's a no-brainer. We got to do this or it is going to end badly. It's like, okay, well, the rats are still here, but
I think
soon
the best way we can get rid of these rats is to have President Trump come out and say he loves rats. And then everybody will say, kill the rats! And then you'll have Nancy Pelosi running around the streets strangling rats. I think that'd be the best way to do it, right?
You want to play politics?
Let's do it. At least that's what my impression is of the situation.
Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, my gosh. All right. On that note.
On that hard segue into Kugler Vision.
Oh, dang it. I was going to try and soften the blow just a little bit, but unfortunately.
Just slam right into it.
It's just the way things went. Yes, Kugler Vision. Very happy that they're a supporter of our podcast. Still, we're only halfway through the month, and so there's plenty of time for you to schedule your consultation. If you've been thinking about contacts, glasses going away and having your vision corrected, this could be a game changer for you. It was for me. During the month of August, get online at kuglervision.com, schedule your own appointment. That when you click consultation, it takes you to a calendar with times and you select the time and the day that you want to go in for your consultation. But on top of it, once you have that consultation, you're automatically in the running for their teacher prize pack, which is
great.
Stupendous.
Yeah. $250 in school supplies for your favorite school or teacher, $100 for them to use as well, a gift card, and then $150 for you to use at the mark on whatever you want. So it's great. All you have to do is get the consultation.
And on top of it, you'll know what your options are and maybe you'll be able to move forward. Because if you've got any doubts whatsoever or you're a little bit nervous about it, this is the best way to set your fears to rest.
That's right.
And ask the questions. Go in there. They want you to, and they're super nice people. Great facility. Online, it's kuglervision.com.
Online, where it's Pat and JT. Episode 180 is done.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Parkville Media Production.